I love the way the First Gen Lounge makes me feel.
Because it creates a space where I belong.
Where we're able to create community.
The fact that it's a community.
It's a safe place.
It also gives me a place to understand different perspectives.
The stories of these individuals prescribe transformational perspective.
I receive encouragement, enlightenment, empowerment.
And also serve as a catalyst to just keep going.
Where we're able to be our true selves.
I'm allowed to be an unapologetic first gen.
And above all else, tell our story.
And every episode is unique.
I love it.
I'm your host, Dr. Eve, and I'd like to welcome you to the First Gen Lounge. Well, hello, and how are you? And welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you ain't. So, let me just tell you, like, sidebar, there's a plant in my office that I'm looking at, and I don't know if it's how the sun hit the day or what, but this plant is popping. It is gorgeous. It is like legitimately gorgeous. Like, it's just looking so pretty right now, so vibrant. I love having, plants. My grandmother gave them to me years ago, and they were like twigs, like a piece of a plant, and they both have become totally blossomed. But one of them right now is just like, hey girl. So, and I ain't even moved it, so it is what it is. But anyways, so let's just go ahead and dive into it, right? I was thinking about something recently, something that I actually did a few months ago, but have been processing for months, like since I did it. So maybe it was, let me see, according to the list, because I'm going to have to look at the list that's on the door, February. So back in February, so this has clearly been like 6 months now. Wow. I found myself in a place of like total overwhelm and just processing a lot in my life, a lot of anxiety and uncertainty, and I was irritated by so much. It had a lot just going on, and outside looking in like, oh, you're good, you're traveling, you're doing everything, life is incredible. And life is incredible. Like, even when it doesn't feel incredible, life is incredible because life is beautiful. But I just found myself like, yo, this is too much. Like, everything just felt like too much. I was like, I've got to let some of this stuff go. So I took it upon myself to sit down, and I wrote out everything that I was feeling, that I had going on, and even everything that I thought I had going on onto this sheet of paper to get some concept of my life, right? To just kind of be like, yo, what are some of the things that I could just do different, or how can I move different so that I can feel better? And something I have learned over the years that really works for me is being able to like visualize my life by sketching it all out. So I know when I'm feeling stressed, like for real stress, I sit down, pen and paper, sketch pad, whatever, something blank, and I get it all out of my head, to be able to just make the connections and start to like literally X stuff off, so that I'm not only crossing it out, like physically, but I'm working through it like emotionally. So anyway, even as I was doing this, I found myself asking a question that I have literally been pondering, again, for months. And that question was, how do you know if you're giving up or if you're letting go? So truth be told, one of the things for me is that I do not like to give up, because I have an association with giving up that's directly tied to failure. Like, I don't know, I guess it's from what I've been taught over the course of my life that, quitters never win or whatever. So don't give up, you don't know until you tried, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, for me, giving up has always been a bad thing, right? It's bad. Why would you give up something? Like, it's a negative association, right? But then again, as I'm processing this giving up piece and this letting go piece, I finally resolved the difference between the two. So here's what it is for me, and just some thoughts, some perspective that I'd like to share with you as you're navigating your own situations and figuring out how you want to deal with some stuff that maybe even you've been thinking about letting go or giving up on. So in the case of giving up, as I process it, as I've come to believe it, giving up means that there is more that you can do, but you choose not to do it. Giving up means you're not even sure that what you're doing is the right thing to do, but because you've gotten to a point of, I don't even give a damn, that you're just going to do it anyway, right? I'm just give up. I quit. I'm done. Giving up is also something that seems to be a lot less thought out. So a lot less rational, for lack of better words. You just feel it and you're going to do it and forget it. Done. Giving up is also one of those things where you may actually, because of, again, just how quick it is to do it, you may have some regret and wish you wouldn't have done so one day. Okay. So then you would say, well, if those things are giving up, is letting go the opposite? I guess not. But for me, letting go, in some ways, yet it is opposite, such that giving up, we're not giving up, letting go. Letting go means that you have peace about what you're doing. Letting go, so yes, then does mean that you have done as much as you could do for as long as you could have done it. And at this point, you have no more, catch what I'm about to do, you have no more to give. Giving up. So you're not though, like you have no more to give, because giving up, you have more to give, right? But then if you let it go, you have no more to give. See, I tried to be clever. I hope it worked. Okay. So even thinking about letting go, when I talk about having that peace part of it, means that for whatever the situation is, you're not losing sleep at night about it anymore. You're not tripping. You're not feeling moved by it, because you know that whatever that thing is has run its course and you're good with it. So when you think about what you've got going on and you're making it a choice to give up or let go, let me say that neither is bad. It's all in how you process it and all in how you perceive it, and you even think other people aren't going to perceive your choice. That ends up making a difference in giving up and letting go, right? So then for me, because I'm the kind of person that thinks and thinks again and thinks some more and thinks some more of some more, I'm more likely to let go of something than I am to give up. But then here's the thing. What do you give up on and what do you let go of? It's subjective. That's for you to decide what is worth giving up on. Because sometimes giving up is the better option. Sometimes not giving something too much thought is the better option, depending on what the situation is, right? And you're like, well, what is the situation like when you're giving up? Maybe dieting. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe you should give up on dieting and not say that you're giving up on weight loss, but it's adopting a healthy lifestyle, period. And maybe then you should let go or learn to let go of self-esteem issues or issues around body image, right? So you see how that kind of goes. They associate, they relate, but they are different things in what they are, but you can approach them differently. Here's something else to consider with letting go and giving up. And depends on the situation, you can let go of or give up on aspects of it, but you don't have to let go of or give up on the entire thing. Here's an example that comes to mind. So let's say you are in a work situationship. You can give up on trying to change a policy that you just realize ain't gonna change, because it's not the place for it to be changed, and the people, the administration, the institution, all that, or the company, whatever, they just not going. They just not going. But then you let go of feeling like you are a failure because you were not able to make that thing change or to do something different in that situation, because what you did wasn't contingent on your lack or your inability to perform, but it was a situation that became tiresome, and it was so much that giving up on it was better. And then you let go of feeling like the failure, right? But you still stay in the job because there are other things, other aspects of it that are far more valuable than this one thing. Okay. So yeah, giving up or letting go. At the end of the day, it is still your choice. And at the end of the day, you've got to be good with it. And I think that it is maturity, however, to recognize when you're giving up on something and when you're letting go, and what situations are best fit for one or the other, or maybe a combination of both. Because things are so gray sometimes. Like, life can be such a fuzzy gray, what the hell is going on situation itself, right? And there are some things that, in order to improve aspects of your life, you're going to have to go cold turkey, give it up, let it go. And then other parts, other things, other elements can improve. And there's some things that you already know that you're ready to let go of. Because here's the other thing with letting go, you already know. And here's the thing too, if you find yourself in a situation or situations and you're feeling like, oh, I don't know what to do right now, that means you haven't decided. That means that you don't have the answer yet, and that's okay, because be it that it is giving up, although giving up is far more irrational to me than letting go is, I still feel like you feel it, and you know when you know about what you know, right? Like, you know that overwhelming feeling of, I'm sick of this sugar honey iced tea. I'm done. And when you get to that point and you're just kind of like, it is what it is, move it on. The flip side of it is letting go. You already felt it coming anyway, and you're good with it because you have already even made peace with it before this thing had even come up. Like, before it even got this far, you was like, you know what? But I'm already good with it. I'm cool. But thinking about these things is something that is really helping me to navigate many aspects of my life that make me go back to that day. And clearly in February, when I'm just like, every now and then I have to sit down with myself and look at what I've got going on and decide what things I'm going to let go of, because I want to be thoughtful and strategic in my decisions. Although there are moments where I'm just kind of like, press the pause button, done. But seriously, it's helping me look at things and to make sense of my decisions, be it that it's working with other people, collaborating in partnerships, if it's taking on new projects, if it's saying yes to another meeting, and then that other meeting becomes something that evolves into something else, right? And having to go back and be like, I didn't even expect to even get here, but this is something that I'm going to have to let go of because it's not A, B, and C, versus I'm just not going to show up because I'm not even interested. So that's the giving up. But anyway, I think about, when I am getting in an overwhelmed place, and I am in a place where it's kind of like, this is just a bit much for me right now. Because I say that sometimes, probably more times than I'd like, but I know me. I'm the kind of person who wants to do it all the time, always, because I enjoy being on the go. But that has, some negative drawbacks sometimes, which that's for another day, another conversation. Anyway, to get back on the trail, to get back on the path of letting go and giving up, is to be able to be mature, like I was saying earlier, in my decision making, and to be all right with what I'm doing. No matter which way I'm going, it's about being conscious and being intentional as well. And either way, with any decision, and I've talked about this with you before, you don't always know if the decision you're making is the absolute best decision that you can make at the time, Or no, I take that back. You don't know if it's the best decision, for 5 or 10 years from now, but it is the best decision for this moment, for this time. Okay. So making peace with that, being good with it, and just kind of like, I did what I did. I felt how I felt, and it is what it is. Okay. But on that note, I hope that this has helped you to navigate some of your own situations and to possibly help you navigate situations in the future. To be able to ask yourself, I'm about to get this up, I'm letting it go. Which one makes more sense? Or did I give up? Maybe even to reflect, because sometimes now I'm like, dang, did I give up? Did I let go? Should I have let go when in fact I gave up? And trying to make sure that I'm learning from my past so that I can be, again, just more aware and more thoughtful in the future, and also not having regrets about any of the choices that I'm making. I typically don't, because I am a thinker, and we talked about that, but really it's just finding ways to be all right with what you got going on, right? So anyway, to that point, over half of the list was crossed off, X'd out, done with. Some stuff I was like, yeah, I'm just done. Done. And I was okay with that because I was that tired with it. But other things I have slowly been taken off of my plate. And the other thing about, letting go versus giving up, when I talked about that time component, it may be that the time frame is as quick as a few minutes or as long as a few months or maybe even a few years. You won't know. But in both cases, it's a process, right? In which irrational for you and quick and thought for you may be 2 years, where for me it may be 4. But again, everything is subjective. That's why I continue to encourage you to be mindful of who you are and what you want for yourself and what you believe, what resonates with you, because everything's got to make sense, for you as best as it can for you. Because what I know is that not everybody's going to understand, and that's cool too. But all right. Please know that I adore you. I'm glad that we get to have these conversations, and I always welcome you to shoot me questions that you want to have answered on the show, because I'm sure that somebody else is thinking what you're thinking. So let's think through these things together. But I definitely appreciate you and want to let you know now that we're going to have some bomb interviews coming up real soon. I know it's been me here for a few weeks, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, just spending time with you and being present and being intentional through this summer. Like, this has been really, really incredible. And, next month, September, celebrating the 2-year transition for the First Gen Lounge, when it was officially announced and switched and all that stuff. And it has been 2 really incredible, really beautiful years and growing, and my gosh, I'm just excited. So there'll be some things happening as well, some giveaways that'll be happening, some shout outs, some things that I'm just like, September's gonna be like nice. It is, and it's the 9, the month of the 9. I gotta show up and show out, because it's 9, and who does it better than a 9? Who's finer than a 9? All right, I'm gonna shut up now. All right, but I love you. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Keep pressing forward. Peace.